a sound effect? Kate, you don't have like some kind of...
Thunder applause!
Please chime in the chat. We are going to have fun today. This needs to be interactive and fun. I will answer all your questions in the end, but between each other, that's where you're going to learn so much today. So please, please use the chat. We are going to talk about how to add more happiness into your life today. This is about a 60-minute presentation, so grab your Red Bull like I did because it's freaking 7 o'clock here, and just start drinking it, and we are going to have a good time. So what is a keynote wear? So I was thinking, like, what should I wear? I have, like, this pretty blue dress, but that wouldn't be, like, authentic, especially those that know me on the team. So I decided I have this blazer on, so I look professional, but my shirt says, I like big boats and I cannot lie. I hope someone out there laughed. I also hope I'm not fired. But it is a fun shirt. I love boating. I love the sun, and I hope that you are going to enjoy this presentation and smile the entire time. So here we go. What do you need to know? Let's see if I can arrow. Okay, a little bit about me. So on the left, you got little Blake. In the center, you got me and my husband. And on the right, you got little Wesley. He wants to own his own lawn business. So he goes around the community and he does lawn work and he takes out people's trash for $3 a week. This kid has a recurring business at 11. So that's pretty cool. Top left, that's hair, makeup, and a little photo shot for you. But that is Dr. Jaime there, who does some coaching. Top right is my book. One of the coolest things about it, I think Kate said, 15 different countries, India, Maldives, Bangladesh, China, Latin America. Like, that is, to me, that's so cool that my book, which I wrote when I was so unbalanced and crying every single day, is now changing people's lives across the globe. That's pretty cool, to me at least. Of course, I teach here at Ashford. Love it. Wouldn't pick any other university. Love you too, Jeff. That's a huge reason why I stay. British Airways, I had an opportunity in February to be the new spokeswoman for a campaign that they were doing. Whoa, that came out of nowhere, but that was really cool. The importance of travel and kind of getting out of your space so you can see everything at this aerial view, and just gain that mental clarity. We're so glued to our work that we fear stepping back, but I had an opportunity to speak about why we should travel. And then Two Maids and a Mop. We are the fastest growing cleaning company in America. I am a business owner. My husband leads it up every day. But yes, we own a cleaning company. So if you're here in Tampa, we'll clean for you. If you're not, you can buy a franchise from me. So there you go. Okay, so I decided I need you to get your ticker ticking. And you need to start thinking about things that make you happy in life. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of 10 things in life that make me happy. And then hopefully you'll start the chat going with things that make you happy. So number 10, of course, random guys at bars. That's right. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's actually my husband. So ladies, don't look too long at him. So for those of you that also know me, there perhaps is a photo of something in the left photo in the back. So if Molly or Riza or Wendy or Jeff or any of you are here, I wonder if you can figure out what that photo is in the back of the photo. Also on the right, Margaritaville, that is where I will be retiring, just so you know. So I guess I'm giving Ashford my notice. In about 25 years, I'll be out. So countdown starts today. What else do I love? I love sun, I love sunsets, and I love water. I am the worst life coach when it is gloomy out. I'm like, life sucks, I hate it all, just end it now. But when it's sunny out, I'm a great person. So the weather plays a huge role on me. I am from Chicago, so the gray and the gloom, I can't do it. In the cold, I can't do it. Great people there. Got my my roots, my value system from there. Love it. Wouldn't trade it. But it's just too cold. I can't go back. Okay. What else makes me happy? And do I love? Target. But here is the question for you. And please put the answer in the chat. Why the hell can't you walk out of Target with one thing? In this photo, I purposely did not get a cart. And I'm like, I'm not getting a cart. I need one thing. That is what ended up happening, y'all. I swear to God, I'm not even kidding. All right, what else makes me happy? My boys make me happy. That's their little boat. Hopefully at one point they'll have an engine. Water is practically in every photo if you're not getting that common theme. What else? Okay, I like to make mile marker signs on Saturdays. That's right. I just go in the garage or by the water and I paint these fun signs. I just like have fun doing it and it makes me happy. Okay, what else do I love? I love my home and I love pontoon boating, right? I like big boats and I cannot lie. So I absolutely, that's my house. Everything you see on my house, my husband and I made. We made the shutters and the starfish and the mile marker signs and the mermaids out front, and it's just like a fun place to be. And I think if you surround yourself with a bunch of happy things and you don't have to be so stuffy all the time, you'll actually be a very, very happy person. And most people walk into our house and the first thing they say is, you can't be sad in this house. And it's true. We all have bad days, but if you surround yourself with everything that's happy, you will be happy. What else do I love? What else makes me happy? High tides and good vibes. I think the people that we surround ourselves with, if they have those good vibes, you're actually going to be a happy person. You know when you're in the room with someone that's very negative, that instantly sucks the happiness around you. So good vibes. What else? God, family, friends in Tampa. Those are my boys and my nephews on the left. I take them to church. I think it's important to instill in these young men a little bit of faith and a conscience, that's for sure. And then you see here friends and family. If you surround yourself with those happy people, you are happy. Dolphins, okay? Dolphins make me happy, darn it. I live on the water, and I'm telling you right in this photo, where is it? See where that pontoon boat is on the bottom there? They come up to the pontoon. There's a seawall right there, and they eat off the seawall. But no matter how many times the dolphins come up, they never get old. Like, I love them, and they make me happy every time. Every time I see a dolphin, it's like the first time I saw a dolphin, and that makes me happy. What else makes me happy? Of course, living in a beach days always. So we get these coconuts and I paint them and I write fun things on them. But I think living in this dream of the beach makes me happy always. So please, I hope you're chatting or you do start putting in the chat things that make you happy. I wish you could post photos. You can't, but I do want to know what makes you happy. So I am going to play a quick song for you. And then I want to explain why I chose this song. And you can't hear it because I didn't push play the right way, apparently. Let's see if I can do it. I don't know if I can get it, guys. Let's see. There we go. Okay, tell me you didn't love that song. If you are saying you didn't love it, drop off now. We don't want you in this group because that is a fun song. You have to pontoon boat and love that song. But why I picked that song is I want you to know before we begin this that every action that you make in the day, literally every action, there's a reaction to it. So if you let the guy out in front of you when you're driving, there's a reaction to that. If you roll your eyes at something your spouse said, there's a reaction to that. If someone puts a new software program on your computer and you don't like it and you kind of huff and puff, there's a reaction to that. Every single action, there is either a positive or negative reaction to that. And if you can be aware of that all of the time, you might stop before acting so that the reaction is more in your favor. And those little actions and reactions are what can cause you to be a happy person or a not so happy person. All right, so we are going to start right here and we are going to add happiness to your life at this moment right now. So one of the things that I would do when I would try to encourage people to be happy, I would say, what is on your bucket list? Start doing it. So people would tell me that they wanted to backpack through Europe. They wanted to go to Fiji. They wanted to go to Hawaii. They wanted to go to like all these beautiful, amazing, faraway land places. And while that was awesome, I started finding that they began sacrificing today's awesomeness for this trip to Fiji, for example. So we stopped date nights, we stopped family nights, we start working overtime, and we sacrifice all of this now, and we make our life more chaotic now for this one trip that's going to take us like 2, 3, 4 years to save for. By the time you get on that trip, you are going to be so damn exhausted. You're probably going to be divorced. Your kids are going to be hating you and probably have problems at school. You're going to go on the vacation. You guys are going to fight because there was probably a layover on the way to Fiji at some point that had to have happened. The kids want to go home. They're on their cell phones anyway. You get home and now you need a vacation from a vacation. And that's sort of how your dream vacation went. So I said, okay, we need to take a step back. And we need to find a ways to be happy now. So while you can still go to Fiji, you can still get that PhD, and that's on the big bucket list, let's have a here and now bucket list. So these are things that you can literally do this weekend up to like the next 90 days. So this could be something like you've lived in the same spot for 15 years. There's a park down the road. You've always wanted to have a picnic there, and you decide, 15 years I've lived here. I've never had a picnic there. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to have a picnic there. Maybe you want to try zip lining, but you're thinking about it like me. Let me give you a little story here. I wanted to go zip lining. It was on my bucket list of things to do. So I picture myself like zip lining in Costa Rica with Carlos. This is the guy Carlos, he's very strong, and he straps around me, and we're like going down the Costa Rican rainforest. Of course, it's raining in their sun. Somehow wine got here, so we're drinking wine through the rainforest. He's feeding me grapes, and that's sort of how I pictured this zip line going. But then I realized a couple of things. One, if I do that, I'll be divorced. But the other thing is I don't have time to go to Costa Rica right now. I don't have time for Carlos to take me down through the rainforest. I don't have anything together to do that. So I said, oh my gosh, how can I achieve this bucket lister? Things don't have to be perfect. So maybe you want to zip line, or maybe you want a horseback ride. It doesn't have to be in the most picturesque, perfect moment that you think. Just do it. What did I end up doing, you ask? I went to the Museum of Science and Industry. They have a zip line from like one side to the other side of Mosey. And I think this heavier white guy pushed me off. It was nothing like Carlos. And I went through, not a rainforest, through Mosey. My family was at the bottom laughing at me. I was screaming, but it was kind of cool. It was fun. I laughed the whole time. I was happy in the moment. And I got to do this with my family. I'm also not divorced. So it was a very cool experience. And so what I challenge you to do is, if you want to horseback ride, if you want to, I don't know, whatever you want to do you realize you can do it this weekend? Like, you can have fun doing it and add happiness to your life now. So my question to you then is, add some things in the chat right now that you can do in the next, I would say, between this weekend and the next 90 days. Maybe you want to take your daughter, maybe mom, you want to take your daughter for yoga. She's never done a yoga class. Let's go do it together. Dad, you want to take your son fishing, but you never have time. Go do it this weekend. So what are some things that you can do for you or your family that are sort of on this here and now bucket list that you can start doing? Please type it in the chat. This is actually, believe it or not, one of the most profound parts of this presentation. And I want to give you an example of something that happened. So I was at a book signing in Santa Monica, and this lady walks up to me. It was at Barnes & Noble. And she says, oh, tell me a little bit about your book. And I tell her a little bit about it. And she says to me, you know, one of the things that used to make me happy was riding horses. And I said, oh, that's awesome. Work's gotten the best of me. It's been years since I've rode a horse. I wish I could do it again. And I'm like, why don't you? And she kind of looked at me and she said, oh, well, I'm so busy. I said, just do it. Like, literally just go down the street. It's what, probably $100 an hour or something like that, and go ride a horse. And she looked at me like I was foreign. I wasn't wearing the shirt, so I knew she wasn't staring at the shirt. So I'm like, that was it, wrapped up. She walked away, didn't think I'd ever hear from her again. A few weeks later, I get an email from her, I'm back home in Tampa now, that she didn't just go ride a horse, she bought a horse. Yeah, purchased as in with cash money, she bought a horse. She named it Flame because the horse she rode and myself instilled a flame in her to horseback ride again. Of course, the story gets better. Couple months later, after I'm already like blown away and I'm like, could you please post this like on Google as a review for me because this is phenomenal. A couple months later, I get an email from her. She now has gone to Kenya and rode horses in Kenya. In this picture, that is her on the right. These are the photos, the proof that she has sent me. There are hippos in that water, and she knows that she can make it across that water because she's so confident that this is like what she's here to do. Okay, of course, it gets better. She is a famous designer in Santa Monica. She made this silk red dress herself with diamonds going on the back. She brought it to Kenya and danced with the people in Kenya. Amazing. If you don't find that amazing, I don't know, you can leave. This is like blowing my mind that you can start, everyone here, with one thing this weekend that is going to bring happiness. It's a bucket lister of happiness for you this weekend. But you don't know, right? Every little action, there's a reaction. What that moment of joy will bring you. For this woman, it brought her dancing with a dress she made in Kenya. That is a beautiful story to me. So please, I don't know if you have, but continue to write in the chat a little bit about what you can do this weekend or in the next 90 days to instill some happiness in you, because this moment could change your life. It's hard to believe, but trust me. All right, so here we go. Now we are going to add happiness into your life today, and we are going to talk about these different sectors or areas of your life and how you can become happier just by making tweaks in these areas. And again, message in the chat if you have ideas or things within these areas that you do that increase your happiness. So if you want to add happiness into your life, I love this quote. I think it's so important. The grass isn't greener on the other side. It's greener where you water it. So wherever you take time to put a lot of effort and love and care into it, it's going to grow. So if any of you listening might have any struggles in a relationship, take a step back, be authentic, reflect, and say, what do I need to do? How can I water this relationship more? Even if I have to bite my tongue or put my ego aside, what could I do to water this relationship a little more? If you're not happy with what you're doing, make sure before you walk away, you've done everything you can to reignite that passion and water that grass, because when you water it, it grows greener. All right. So I want to get into all the areas of how to be happy, but if you're doing any of these things, you're not going to be happy. So here are 5 things that you don't want to do if you want to be a happy person. Always be right. Your ego is not your amigo. Recognize that we are all wrong, except for me. I've never been wrong, but everyone else makes mistakes. They've been wrong at certain points in their life, and you need to say that. You need to allow other people's opinions and ideas, and you don't always have to be right, and that can be hard for us sometimes. So remember, your ego is not your amigo. One of you out there needs to write that down. You're somewhere thinking, yeah. Hate change. We are in a society where change is happening every single day. I think the presentation right before me, we were talking about this for a moment. Technology is changing, people are changing, politics are changing, children are changing, everything is changing around us so quickly. You've got to be open-minded, flexible, and willing to adapt to that change. If you're not, you need to step aside, you need to work on that and come back in if you want to be happy. Live in the past. If you want to live in the past, that's fine, but you're going to live in the past. If you're living in the past because you were hurt and people were mean to you and did awful things, then you're going to live in that negativity. it's rough. It's not easy, but you have to move past. You got to forgive for you, or you got to move on for you. If you want to be happy, you can create this next chapter. You can literally, when this presentation ends, start a brand new chapter of your life today if you want, and be happy. You can just do it. So just kind of remember that if you're living in the past and it's negative, you're going to live in the past and it's going to be negative. You have to impress others. You are not going to be happy if you have to impress others, if you're always one-upping somebody, if you're keeping up with the Joneses. We'll talk about this in a little bit. But you're not like living your goals and your dreams and your priorities and doing what's right for your family, because you're always trying to impress the crowd outside. And then also having limiting beliefs. Henry Ford has a quote, something along the lines of, if you think you can or you can't, you're right. So if you think you can't, yeah, you're probably not going to be able to do it. So before anything you do, pump yourself up, believe in yourself. You're all you got. If you don't believe in you, why do you want me to believe in you? If you're going to deliver me something, you're going to sell me something, you want me to buy into something, but you don't even believe in your own self, why should I? So you first got to trust yourself and believe in yourself and know that you can do it, and be bold enough to take the leap before you try to get other people to buy into what you're selling. All right, so nutrition. Nutrition, if you want to be happy, that's one super easy thing that you can do. 90% of serotonin is made in your gut. So if you put your hands over your belly button, like right around that area, that's where your gut is. Serotonin is the chemical that makes you happy. So if you're eating fast foods, processed foods, antibiotics, the serotonin is saying, I can't get out. When it can't distribute through your body, that's when you feel the drop in your mood. So if you ever went through the drive-thru at McDonald's, we all have, and you ordered like fries and a Coke and all that other stuff, and then you kind of felt like afterwards, well, that's because the serotonin can't get out. You're eating like, unfortunately, crap. And that's why you're feeling a drop in your mood. You're getting a little bit tired. But if you do that day in and day out, that really takes a toll on your happiness. So be cognizant of what you're eating. I had a nutritionist on the Dr. Jaime show, which you should subscribe to and review right now, please. Thank you. Are you doing that? Great. And she said that your like cells and everything, they're always breaking down and you're rebuilding yourself all the time. So whatever you're fueling your body with, your body is coming back in that. So that's kind of like a gross way of thinking of it, right? So what do you want to rebuild your body with? You got to think about that with everything that you're putting in your mouth. And then after 7 o'clock, our bodies sort of go into that like sedentary chill mode. Try to avoid eating after 7, except for tonight. Clearly, we're all on Red Bull right now and probably going to eat dinner after this, but with the exclusion of tonight, really just like stick to water, watch what you're eating after hours, because you're dying down and so is your metabolism. So be cautious of what you're eating after 7. Okay, so people always ask me, so can I drink coffee? No, you can't. I'm just kidding. I know. Did we lose like half of the audience at that point? So no, go ahead, grab some coffee. But what's cool about this is that your body has a natural like peak cortisol level. So sort of like that boost in that mood. Try not to mess with those too much. So typical cortisol, like little peak levels, you see them right there, 8 to 9, 12 to 1, 5:30 to 6:30. So during those hours, allow your body to do its own thing and don't drink coffee. And then on the down times, go ahead and take your coffee break and go ahead and have some coffee. But allow your body to do what it can naturally when it comes to happiness and energy. Allow it to like do its own thing. Don't mess with that and interrupt it with chemicals. Try to avoid that as much as you can. All right, so in nutrition still, eat breakfast. I get it. You're busy. You're running around in the morning. You hit the snooze button 14 times. Everyone's late. The kids didn't shower. Kate, your kids obviously didn't shower. You told us that. No, everyone wants breakfast. There's no time for breakfast. You just don't have time. I don't care. You need to eat anyway. And there is a lot of reasons why you need to eat breakfast. Grab a banana, grab an on-the-go oatmeal, grab an apple, grab something. It keeps your blood sugar levels in check all day. And also, even if you're not hungry in the morning, again, I don't care, you need to eat. you're going to get to a certain point in the day when time is just past you and you've been working and focused and now you're absolutely starving. So you scarf down all of the gross food around you and you stuff it in your face as fast as you can to fill up, and now you're like, and now you're tired and you're eating gross food. It's often higher calories. That plays a role in your mood. It plays a role in your mental clarity. And again, of course, that's the dip where we're just like the serotonin can't distribute through your body. So eat breakfast, and then we're going to talk about snacks. We'll have some snacks, and then we'll have our lunch, and so on and so forth. Drink water, very important. Lubricates the joints, gets your metabolism going. It wakes up your organs. First thing in the morning, I challenge you to do this. Have a glass of water. I know you want your coffee. That's totally fine. But have a glass of water, wake up your organs, and then drink your coffee. It's so frustrating sometimes when you sit back and, if you want your body to do good for you, you want it to be happy and healthy, you want it to do the discussion post tomorrow or grading tomorrow, or you want it to go on a run, or you want it to do all these things for you, drive and talk and negotiate. But you're going to, like, some people will start their morning with 2 cigarettes and a cup of coffee. You want your body to have optimal performance, and that's what you're feeding it. That's not fair. So if you want to be happy, you've got to do things that fuel your body in a healthy way so that you can not only, you'll live happier, but you'll have like crazy results and be even more successful than you already are just by changing the way you fuel your body, because it does so much to your mental health as well. All right, grab snacks. I talked about this a moment ago. Don't let yourself starve. One of the worst things that we can do is just get to that point of starving. So your brain uses about 25% of the body's glucose at any given time. You're sitting here, you're watching this, which, by the way, you guys should stand up and like stretch right now, right? If you sat through my other presentation, you know you need to stand right now. So even if you are so depleted, you're starving, you haven't eaten all day, you're totally stressed out, your brain is like, you want me to talk, you want me to walk, you want me to breathe, you want me to blink, you want me to help you go to the bathroom, you want me to do all these things for you. I really don't care that you're miserable. I'm still taking my 25% of the glucose that I need to operate. That's when you get the headache, you're running on fumes, you're grumpy, you're crabby. If that's you in the office, nobody likes you. So you need to work on that. You need to grab snacks, eat a few grapes, some almonds, like just all it takes is a handful of a little something to sort of put you in a good mood because you're feeding your body the fuel it needs to keep working for you. And so they do say, some research shows that the body wants energy every 3 hours. I say every 45 minutes. So this doesn't mean a full course meal, guys. This means half of a banana or half of a little granola bar, a handful of grapes or the almonds or whatever you find. There's so many on the go, good, healthy snacks for you, and you don't need a lot of it. Just a few cubes of cheese or something. I love cheese. I don't think I could do a few cubes. I'd probably do a lot of cubes. And then meal prep, that's a great way. If you have all this ready for the week, you don't have to worry about waking up late and not being able to make your snacks. They're already there. Just grab it out of the fridge. Bada bing, bada boom, you're done. All right, tip number 2. How are we doing on time here? Fabulous. Tip number 2, exercise. So please recognize that exercise is not black or white. So if you're that person that says, I really want to get out and start working out, I just don't have time. I don't have 60 minutes. Oh, fabulous. I don't have 60 minutes either. I work out about 6 days a week for the max 10 to 15 minutes. I kid you not. But 10 to 15 minutes every day, practically for a year, makes a difference in your life. Just like 0 minutes has made a difference, 10 minutes will make a difference. So start somewhere. You have an app on your phone. You can do these things from your bathroom, your living room, your kitchen. You don't even have to get outside if you travel a lot. You can do these from your hotel room. So you don't have to overdo it. Don't think of all or nothing. Just find a way to make it happen. Okay, so, so I put in here more opportunities for exercise. So what are some quick opportunities that you can help other people think of for exercise? Parking far away, taking the stairs, but what else could we do for exercise? Exercise is so important for mental clarity, to de-stress you. So many people come to me and they are so stressed out, and I tell them, if you just exercise, I promise you it will go away. And it does. It goes away. So trust me in that. The average person has about 5,000 steps per day. I challenge you at a minimum to double it. I think the Amish, they did a study on the Amish, they triple that at about 14 to 15,000. They have less cancer rates. Walking is important. If you can't run, if you can't do much, walk. If you're on the phone all day, you're talking to your mom, you're talking to a student, whatever, walk while you're talking. Walk. Get a few steps in. Justin, I don't know if Justin's here, but I would tell him that sitting is the new smoking if he was here. And so everyone, sitting is the new smoking. So don't sit, stand. And I challenge you to stand right now. All right, happiness tip number 3, sleep. Sleep is so important. So you see all those motivational YouTube videos that are like, if you want it, you won't sleep. Well, yeah, I mean, you'll die. So you can want a dream very bad, and you can still sleep and have the best of both worlds. There might be days where you got to get up a little earlier, a little later, but you need to sleep. If you want that optimal performance, you have to sleep. So there's actually research that shows that you can, for every 1 hour you work out, you can pull yourself, for every 30 minutes you work out, you can pull yourself into REM sleep for an hour longer. You want to be in REM sleep. It caps out at 2 hours, just so you know. So REM sleep is the deepest form of sleep. If you've ever slept for 10 hours and you get up and you're still tired, that's because you weren't sleeping in the REM sleep long enough. Then there may have been times in your life where you slept 4 hours and you woke up and you're like, I have Red Bull wings. I feel great today. That's because even though you didn't have a lot of hours of sleep, the majority of your sleep was in a deep sleep. That's where your body rejuvenates, your organs and tissues rejuvenate for that mental clarity and that energy that you need. If you get 4 hours of sleep or less a night, you are 234% more likely to be obese. That is that's a huge number, and that could be very, very severe on so many levels. So sleep if you want to be healthy and have energy and have just healthy everything. Okay, so going along the lines of sleep here and strong mornings, wake up early. Oh my gosh, I know you're hating me. Some of you are hating me. If you start your morning out like, oh my God, it's Monday. Oh my God, is it really 6 a.m.? Oh my God. Like that's how your day is going to be. You're not going to be happy when the first thing you think about is how miserable it is right now. Retrain yourself and retrain your mornings. Don't hit the alarm. I know you want to hit the alarm. Even morning people like myself, we want to hit the alarm, but we've got the discipline to not do it. You want to run the day before the day runs you. Think about it. There have been times that you hit that snooze button. Now you're behind. Everything's behind. Traffic seems a little bit more traffickier. The kids are frustrated and, they forgot their homework, and it's just the day starts running you. Then you're checking Facebook first thing in the morning and you're seeing like everyone's doing everything fabulous except for you because you're still in your pajamas trying to get out the door. It just starts your day like awful. Wake up a few minutes early and start running the day before it controls you. I also encourage you to wake up and take a moment to say why today is going to be good. Why is today going to be a good day? Even if it's a busy day, even if it's like the day from hell, why is it going to be good? What good is going to come from it? I actually make my kids do this every morning. Why is today going to be good? And they'll say, it's going to be good because I'm going to get an A on my test. When you can get them to buy into that, they do very well. And same with you. If you can get yourself to buy into why today is going to be awesome, you will have a better day. We know so limited about the mind. Mind has extreme power, and you need to believe that, and I think it will change your life. I hit on everything? Yes. Oh, and I just put your mind needs to come before your cell phone and your email. So when you wake up, do good for your mind before you're checking your email and your Facebook. Jordan Harbinger, I'm not sure if any of you know them. I'd love to know if any of you know him. He was host of The Art of Charm, which had 4 million downloads per month. He also now has a show called The Jordan Harbinger Show. Guess whose show he's going to be on? So on the 20th of April, he is going to be on the Dr. Jaime Show. I am overjoyed, but I'm telling you this because after you subscribe to my podcast, then you can subscribe to his. But episode 15, on the Jordan Harbinger show. There's a guy with the last name of Willink. I wrote it there. They have a great show on the difference between motivation and discipline. And I think it's a really cool, motivation's like here in the moment. Like you might leave this presentation and be like, oh my God, I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna like make these changes. But then in like tomorrow morning, you're like snooze, snooze, snooze. What was that doctor girl saying? I understand that, but we've got to learn discipline, and he tells you how to be disciplined. So it's a good episode to catch. Happiness tip number 4, peace of mind. If you want to be happy, you have to live by your morals and values, because when you're doing something unethical or not right or not in line with your morals and values, it's always on your mind. Like, you know, you're doing this is not right. So it blocks your ability to be happy because you know you're living in the wrong. So for those of you that are exercising and eating right and all these great things, and you're like, well, I'm still not happy, I encourage you to see if you're living within your morals and values. And if you're not, flip that switch real quick, and your life will be happy instantly. Forgiveness. Remember that forgiveness is an action. It's not a feeling. So if there's people that are holding you to live in the past, recognize that that feeling you're waiting for to come around, like I forgive them, it's never going to happen. You just do it. You do it for you, and you do it so you can move forward and be happy. And then, of course, just being kind to yourself, not being so hard on yourself. We all make mistakes, again, except for me. Everyone else makes mistakes, and that's okay. And you just have to recognize, all right, let me use it as a learning lesson and move on. All right, happiness tip number 5. Oh my goodness, this is your new decision-making process. Write this down. Retreat, rethink, react. So often we react, then we retreat, and then we rethink. But you want to rethink, retreat, react. So especially in relationships, if you want to marry this person, if you want to have a great relationship with them, sometimes you got to take a step back and rethink, is this really in line with my bigger goal and what I want to do? Don't, yell at that person, throw something at that person, say hateful things to that person. You've got to walk away and retreat, and then rethink and react. Same in work. Before you do something, stupid, I don't know what that could be. I mean, we're all perfect employees here at Ashford. You need to go ahead and walk away, retreat, and then rethink, and then react to the situation. Society makes us react first because we're on this speeding cycle, right? Now, text now, respond now, do this now, we want it now, fast food now, it's been 30 seconds, why is it taking so long for my food here? And then you file a complaint, which takes more time, by the way, but we want everything now. And because of that, we tend to be creatures that react before we think things through. And then I challenge you, one way to start teaching yourself this patience is when you get a text in, you don't have to text right away. Give it a second or finish what you're doing and then go to the text. You don't have to email back right away. Take a breath and sort of learn to retreat in everything. Happiness tip number 6, don't compare. If you want to be happy, you don't have to keep up with the Joneses. Be really cautious what you look at on social media. What you're seeing is what I call a highlight reel. It is the best clips of everybody's life, except that one negative person that's always like, life is horrible and I hate this. But other than that one person on Facebook, everyone has a great life. No, they don't. Recognize you're seeing this cover and you're not seeing everything else in their life. And what happens is we look at Facebook, for example, and we compare all of their highlights to our entire life, and then we feel this small and that we're doing it all wrong. They're all facing the same things that you're facing. So take a step back and recognize, don't compare yourself to them. It's a faulty book cover. You're judging, and that's not the right thing to do. Look at your life. Where can you improve? Compare yourself to yesterday. Compare yourself to last year, compare yourself to 14 years ago. You're a different person. You've probably grown in the right direction. Okay, I love this Dave Ramsey quote. We buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't like. Fabulous. Happiness tip number 7, watch the self-talk. Another quote I love by Lisa M. Hayes, be careful how you are talking to yourself because you're listening. I challenge you tonight when this presentation ends, because you've been drinking Red Bull with me, you're going to be up for a while. Think about some of the things that think and listen to what you're saying to yourself. Oh, I should have done that today. Oh, why didn't I do that? What was I thinking? And then you walk by the mirror. Oh my God. You know, and you say all these negative things, but we don't realize you have to actually have an awareness of the way you talk to yourself. That thousands and thousands and possibly millions of times a day, you're saying all of these shoulda, woulda, couldas, which instill self-doubt. So you're brainwashing yourself into thinking all of these things you've done wrong, or why you're not perfect, or why you're not good enough. That ends up becoming a way of life, and it steals your happiness because you're really not that good, and you really should always do things this way, but you do them that way, and you're just not good enough because this. That's how your brain talks to yourself. So you've got to go ahead and find ways to catch it and then stop it. It takes a long process. It takes a long time. It may have taken 40 years to make you in the way that you think. It's going to take some time to reverse it, but don't give up, because the minute you can change your thoughts, you can change your life. All right, happiness tip number 8. Be more spontaneous. Actually, if you go on YouTube and you type in Jaime Kulaga spontaneous, this video, I just did it, maybe like a 3 or 4 minute video one day, like randomly, like, oh, maybe people want to be more spontaneous. I think like 4,000 views, like right away off of it. So you can check it out if you want, but I think it's important in this life that gets so structured to be a little bit more spontaneous in your life, a little bit more fun. So if you're like me, I've got a family, I've got different things that I'm managing and doing every day. So I have to have a structure. Things have to be cyclical. If you want healthy children, a lot of times you do need to be structured because, by the way, off on a tangent, when a child knows their schedule, they actually have less anxiety. So if you have a child that's acting out a lot of anxiety or even anger, take a look. Are you a very scheduled person? Are they very scheduled and structured? That makes a huge difference. It lowers their anxiety because they know it's coming next. Children can control very little. So bringing it back now. So life gets structured. My life is structured. I have to have it that way so that I can get all of my duties and tasks done and run this family. But at the same time, I don't want my life to get boring. So find things that you can do to add a little spontaneity. When you're driving, maybe you always take the left way home. Now, you know what? Tomorrow, screw it. Take the right way home. Maybe on the way home, you're driving, you got the kids in the car, you're heading home. You know what? You're stuck in traffic. Screw it. Go out for ice cream. Like, you weren't planning on that, but who cares? It's $7. Like, go enjoy yourself. You're stuck in traffic anyway. So instead of screaming at the guy in front of you, modeling great behavior for the kids in the back seat. They're probably on the iPad. They don't see you anyway. But take them out for ice cream. Have a bonding moment with them. A different way, try something new, try a new food. When you can, pick something random. Like if someone's like, well, do you want the small one or the tall one? Like, just randomly pick one. If it really doesn't matter, pick a random color. Everything doesn't have to be so perfect. Just sort of throw spontaneity. I'd love to know from you what kind of spontaneous things that you could do randomly throughout the day to add a little bit more fun into your life. Travel's definitely on there if you have an opportunity to travel. Saying yes to things. If you sit through my other presentations, I always tell you to say no, but when it's not going to take up a lot of your time, yes, I'll try that. Sure, I'll go run with you or go for a walk with you today. Like, just some random yeses in there is a way to add spontaneity to your cyclical, structured life. And then my last tip for you, because I want to make sure that we kind of chat back and forth during this hour. Happiness tip number 9 is practice mindfulness. So we hear the word mindfulness, but sometimes we don't know what it means. Essentially, it's being in the moment right now, here and now. Are you here right now? Or are you like making pasta and you're not here, or making pasta, you're mentally like still at work? When you're making dinner, are you actually making dinner? Have you ever driven home and you're like, how the hell did I get home? Like, did I just go through a red light? Was that a green light? Because your mind's on autopilot. What's happening with this world is that we are physically in a place, but we are mentally not there. So when we're on a date with our spouse, we're there on a date, but we're not mentally there. When we're hanging out with our kids and we're playing Thomas the Train on the ground, we're physically there, but we're not mentally there. Those people feel that, and also robs you of happiness, because maybe while playing Thomas the Train, if you would have been mentally there, you would have seen like the cutest smile ever that your son just smiled at you. Or Maybe went out on a date with your spouse. If you were mentally there too, you would have felt his or her touch on your leg, and you just, their hand is there, but you're not even feeling it because you're not even there. So it's the mentally not being there is robbing us of our happiness, of these like little beautiful things that are here in the moment. I always tell people, when you go on a walk, I challenge you to find at least 5 small things that you would not normally see on a walk, and that forces you to be present. Maybe you see a butterfly or a raindrop on a leaf. The media has convinced us that this world has gone crazy, that there's not a lot to be happy about because there's so much tragedy in the world. And there is, but there's still a lot more beauty. And there's still a lot more good people than bad people. You just don't hear about them because they're not as exciting, because they're on walks looking at butterflies. And that's not as exciting as some of these other negative things that we read about. So I challenge you to see all the beauty around you. There's literally something around you right now that is beautiful that you're probably missing. So I just encourage you to start finding more happiness and beauty in your life on a day-to-day basis. So obviously we're not going to scrapbook, but something that I would challenge you to do, or have your family in on this. This would be a great like bucket lister thing to do. Take a scrapbook, and there's usually like 8 to 10 pages or so in a scrapbook. Label each one like emotional, physical, financial, spiritual, family, and so on. You see the list if you want. Snap a photo of it with your phone. And start taking like magazine cutouts for the goals and like the direction that you want to go in your life. So for financially or physically, like things that are going to make you happy, and goals in that area of your life, and put that out on the coffee table and let you and your family look at it every day. It's a direction, it's a vision of where you want to go in life, and that can make you happy. So questions? Does anyone have any questions, comments? If you want to find out more tips, there you go. Please do me a favor. Go to iTunes right now and review the Dr. Jaime Show. I'm pushing for 300 reviews. I don't know if I can say that if I'm going to be fired, but do it. Everybody do it. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this made you smile. And I just hope you took one thing from it that can add value and happiness into your life today.